Hi everyone, my name is Avik. So welcome again. So I think if you remember in the last video, we studied something about client server request response. Okay, we studied like let's say you have a phone, your phone is actually behaving like a client. We have another server. This was a server which is somewhere on the internet. Your phone is actually communicating with the server. The server is actually answering to whatever question your phone is asking or your client is asking. So that was a simple system. And if you remember, we made something in between, and that is internet. So if there is no internet, I don't think so they will be able to communicate with each other. And in this video, we will try to unbundle this internet. Like we will try to go in depth how exactly this internet works, how exactly your client is communicating with server, and what are all the necessary components that is in between. I hope you are excited for today's video because I am very much excited. Okay, so if you see this diagram more carefully, you will see like this client is actually talking to a server. Like this client is actually making a request to the server. But on the internet, there is not a single server. Like there is not a single server. There can be billions and billions and billions of server. So how does this client know what is the right server or computer to make a request to? So the answer is actually very, very simple. Very simple. Like if you take an example, let's say you live in a house. Let's say if you want to order something from Amazon, like what exactly you give to the Amazon? You give your details and everything, but you also give your own address so that Amazon can actually send a parcel or a package to your home. The similar idea is in this computer world as well. Every server or every computer on the internet has its own address. And this address, we call it as IP address. How does this IP address look like? It is nothing but, let's say, I'm just writing it, okay? Just give an example. 192.150.32.100, something like that. So if you see, there are 4 digits, four numbers separated by dots. 4 numbers separated by dots, this is the address of the server. Very simple, because if a request wants to reach to a particular server, it should have a address. And this address, we call it as IP address. But there is one problem. Let's say if you open Instagram app on your device, okay, if you are opening Instagram app on a device, you don't even type any kind of address. You don't type all these digits by yourself so that it reaches to the Instagram server on the internet. What exactly you do? You just open the Instagram app. So opening the Instagram app, or let's say you went to a browser, or you write instagram.com or youtube.com, you do something like that. But how exactly it knows, like let's say if you type youtube.com, how exactly it tries to find the address of this YouTube? Like what is the mechanism by which it finds? So there is a concept of internet that is DNS. Now what is DNS? DNS is nothing but it is just like a phone book. Phone book of what? Phone book of website name with its address. So if you remember, like if you have a contact list, okay, every name, let's say you want to call Ashutosh. So Ashutosh has its number saved. You don't type the number of that person. You just search, oh, okay, I want to talk to Ashutosh. You search Ashutosh, you call him. Similarly, you don't type the address of that server, of that website. You just type the name of that website. You just open the Instagram app. Instagram app knows what to contact. Okay. Now, how does this internet knows this website address? By DNS. What is DNS? DNS is nothing but domain name server. So when you go to any website, the first thing that your internet does is look up for the address of the website that you just entered. And it happens in milliseconds, like in a fraction of seconds, you don't even notice it. Every time you open any website, every time you open any app, this DNS lookup happens very instantly. It tries to find the address and it reaches to the correct address. So that's our first answer. Like how this client knows the address of the server, like how this client knows what server to contact to with the help of DNS. That's our first answer. I hope you are very clear with this. Okay, I want to clarify one thing. This is not domain name server. This is domain name system. In a flow, I just wrote server, but it is domain name system. It is a system by which your browser or by which internet is finding the address of that website or the app that you are trying to look up for. Okay, so DNS tries to give you the address. That's the first answer. Okay, so the next problem is that now your phone knows the address. Okay, next problem is that how does the client knows that it has actually connected to that server? Like you just can't assume. Let's say you just can't assume, okay, the connection has established, now I can ask anything. It doesn't work like this. Firstly, you have to make sure the connection has established. Like you have to prove that point. So let's take an example. Let's say you are making a call. You are making a call to your friends. Okay, it is not like that on the very first sentence that you say, hey, I need this thing. I have this work from you. No. What exactly you do? You try to say, hey, are you there on on the other side, your friend say, hey, yes, I'm here. So what exactly you do at the very beginning, you try to establish a connection. You ask your friend if he's there on the call. Your friend confirms, yes, he's there. Now you guys are connected to each other. Now you can ask questions, or you can, do whatever conversation you want to do. Similarly, on internet, when you get the address, you need to establish what? You need to establish the connection. And it is just a simple thing. Like, for example, your client will say, hey, are you there? You just need to understand, like, we'll go in depth in the next later round of lectures, but you have to understand, your client will say, hey, are you there? Your server will respond, yes, I'm here. Now, as soon as this activity is done, connection established, now we can go to the next step. But you know what? This small time, like this small thing which is happening to establish a connection, it is not free at all. Like, it cost thing. And a good engineer always try to minimize this cost, always try to see, okay, how can I minimize this thing in the best possible manner? So in the later down the line, whenever we try to establish a connection, we'll also try to optimize this part where we are establishing a connection. I hope you got it, like what exactly is happening after getting the address. After getting the address, we try to establish a connection by the same approach that we usually do over a phone call. Hey, are you there? Your phone responds, yes, I'm here. Similarly, you talk to server, hey, are you there? Your server responds, yes, I'm here. Connection established. That's it. So now what next? So now what happened? You have your client, you have your server. They both have, established a successful connection as well. Okay. Now the thing is that your client needs to send a request to the server. Now, you know what? Here is a problem. This request should also be understandable by your server. Like, your server should understand, or your server should understand how to read this request. So, there is a shared language, like there is a shared language, or there's a shared protocol that both client and server that try to follow, which is a format, and that is called HTTP. What is HTTP? HTTP is nothing but hyper text transfer and protocol. So you just need to understand one thing. HTTP is just a format that is understandable by both client and server to read request and response. So request and response both needs to be sent in a HTTP manner so that they can talk to each other. That's how a client and server can talk. Okay. Now let's take an example. Like, let's take how this actually a request or response looks like in a HTTP language. Okay. Let's say your client raise a request. Your client raise a request to a server, and it says, okay, I need 20 Insta post. I'm just taking an example. So how it looks like, it calls get. Get means it needs something. It just want to read something. And then you have to tell, okay, what you need to read, you have to read feed. So you are writing /feed. Now this can be anything based on different things, but you just need to understand one thing. There is a get, and in get, what you are trying to do, you are trying to ask what exactly you want. Because get means you want something. Now what exactly you want, you need to define that. So this is how the HTTP looks like. Now there is a get. Similarly, there can be more things. Right now I'm not going into the depth, but you just need to understand, with get there can be more ways you can do with the data. Right now get is limited. Similarly, how the response comes from the server, it says, firstly it says number. Let's say it's at 200. Okay, here are 20 posts. Now what does this 200 means? 200 means success. Okay, you asked me something, I found it, now I'm returning it to back. So this number means 200 means success. Similarly, there can be one number, like there is a number called 404. 404 means there is an error. There is an error, like there is an error in connection or anything like that. Similarly, there is another code called 500. What is 500 means? There is an error on server side, like it is not able to find that responses, or it is not able to find it is not able to fulfill your request. So it will send, okay, 500 number it is sending, and it's telling you, hey, I'm not able to find it. So these numbers are actually very important. Similarly, why I'm telling you all this thing, because this is all a HTTP format. And why we are studying HTTP format? Because it's a way by which client and server communicate with each other. That's how request and response looks like. I hope you got it, like what exactly is HTTP. But you know what? If you go to the internet and if you try to search any website, you will not see HTTP. You will see something called HTTPS. Now, what does this S means? This S means secure. Now, why does it matter? Like, why does the secure thing matters? So let me give an example, okay? So your client and server are communicating with each other. Your client sends a request, your server sends a response. Now, let's say if you're going with HTTP protocol, this request and response, like someone is monitoring this request and response, and whoever is seeing this request and response, they can also see the exact request that you are sending. They can see the exact response that is coming up. So there is some middleman who can actually, hack into your system, and they can see, okay, what is the communication that is happening in between both client and server. So that's why on majority of the internet websites, like they use HTTPS. Now, what does this S do? Like, what does this S do? Is it nothing but HTTPS? Nothing but HTTP. The protocol is same. Plus it lock. Now, what does this lock means? Whatever request going from a client, it encrypt it first. Okay, it encrypt it first. And whatever response that is going from a server, it also encrypt. Only server can decrypt it. And on this also, like your response, only your client can decrypt it. And anyone who is seeing from the middle, they will see a garbage value. Why? Because they will see the encrypted data. Only server and client knows how to decrypt it. Are you getting it? And how to actually encrypt this thing? So there are some concept, like there is a concept of TLS. There is a concept of certificates. Like we will go in depth. I'm not going in depth right now. I'm just telling you from the high level overview. Like there are TLS, there are certificates involved which do this encryption part. But this HTTPS means this is a secure protocol. Like your request and response are going in an encrypted manner so that no one on the internet can actually see what exactly you're sending or what exactly you're receiving. Okay, so this is the most interesting thing. And if you are going to the internet and if you are seeing a website with only HTTPS, then try to aware this website is not safe and try to get yourself away from that website. I hope you got it. So if I summarize everything, whatever we studied till now, it is very simple. Let's say you go to your browser, you try to search youtube.com. Your browser will go to DNS. It tried to find the address of the server. Now it got the address of the server. It tried to establish a connection. Now this connection is also called as handshake. Like they are handshaking it. Okay, hey, are you there? Yes, I'm here. That's it. Next thing is that with the help of HTTPS protocol, they try to communicate with each other. It will send a request. Now the server will send a response, and we have already seen like how requests look like. Like it will send GET. It will give you 200. Okay, here are the responses. Now as soon as you get all the responses, your browser will render all that data which is coming from a server, and that's how you're interacting with a website. So I hope like this is how the whole mechanism actually working. That's how the whole client and server is actually communicating with each other. Okay, so whatever we studied in theory. Now let me actually show you in practical, like how exactly this HTTP, how exactly the systems are communicating with each other. So let's say I'm going to youtube.com, okay? And what I will do, I'll try to inspect this. I'll go to this network here. And let me refresh this page again. You will see something interesting, okay? Can you see in the network tab, there are lots of requests going on. Let's say if I go to all, you can see lot of things are going on. Let me refresh it again. You will see. See, there are a lot of things. Let's say if you see there are a lot of 200 statuses, 200 means, okay, it is success. There are some more numbers, 304 we haven't studied, we'll see later. But you can see what are all these things. All these things are request, like request URL. And then we are getting a response. There are a lot of request and response which is coming up to render this page on the on your browser. So that's how the internet is actually communicating with each other. That's how things actually works. That's how a system, a client and server, works in real life. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. So in this lecture, we have studied like how this internet works, what is DNS, what is IP address, what is this HTTPS, all these things. So in the upcoming lecture, we'll try to go more in depth. We'll try to see especially for request and response, there is another concept called API. We will try to see what exactly is API, how it caters request response things. So upcoming videos are more exciting, and we'll see you then. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.